Okay, well, today we got a 1-1 draw against AFC Mansfield, and given the conditions and the fact that they're in the playoffs at the moment, that's a reasonably decent point.
Yeah, I think it's 1 point gained as opposed to 2 being dropped today. I think the chairman done a brilliant job getting the game on, and in terms of obviously everyone associated with the club, with the volunteers and things like that as well. No, massive effort from everyone at the football club. So I appreciate that, and thank you for everyone who came out and braved the interesting, to say the least, conditions, very stormy conditions today. In terms of the game, I picked a side where I thought, looking at the conditions, first half I knew that we wanted to play with the wind. We reflected on the Shirebrook game and, felt actually we probably should have gone with the wind and some momentum to play in their half early doors against them, and we decided to try and do that today. So it was good to win the toss and actually do that. I thought we started on the front foot, started really well, and Benno's had a great strike, hit the bar, and then we've scored from a set piece because we're on the front foot and we're on the move, and a good finish by Benno. So nice positive start, but I think the only bit then I was a little bit disappointed with was that we didn't kind of capitalise and go a little bit more with that in terms of picking up the tempo. I felt they wanted to slow the tempo, which more within their rights to do, and we tried to do exactly the same thing in the second half. But even when the ball went out of play, I just don't think we tried to get the ball back in play enough or move the ball quickly in terms of quick free kicks, etc., etc. I think that's a learning point for us, and I think then fair play to them. They started to grow into the game. They got accustomed with the conditions, especially kicking towards our goal, where obviously there were wind against, but there's a little bit of an opening in terms of from left to right, which they started to exploit, which that they got down the right hand side a couple of times, and caused us a few problems from set pieces as well, where we switched off. But I think we were, overall, I think we were deserved of the lead at half time. On the balance of play, just shading it, to be honest with you. I think then moving into the second half, we spoke about, we need to make sure that we slow the game down, and we need to take our time with things, and look to play when we need to play, in terms of having to get out and not always looking to go long, which I think that, the boys did really well. And it was just that the only frustrating thing is I don't think Lakes only had a save to make, really, and we switched off from their corner, which is a really well worked corner, but we nearly got a sucker punch for that first half, and we haven't learnt from that, but we will learn from it and we'll get better. And then I think it was kind of a little bit of a stalemate. I thought the back four were tremendous today, especially second half in those conditions. Sam Harris, Theo Braham, combined age of nearly as much as as me, just a little bit more. So I thought they were brilliant, especially, and also with Ollie moving to fullback today following his performance last Saturday, and Ethan coming back into the team. I think he's a little bit ring rusty initially first half, but I thought he was very good second half. And I thought Barks in there was great, and showed his quality. I don't think it was really in terms of the weather conditions was a game for us in terms of how we want to play, but we dug in, and I think it was a good point. Disappointing in terms of obviously how we've conceded, but something we will definitely learn from. And I think as well, just want to touch on the subs that came on. I thought it impacted the game really well. I spoke to Nico afterwards. I know he was disappointed not to start, but I thought his reaction when he came on, I thought he was brilliant in midfield, and that was always the plan, to bring him on, because the plan was to try and go with the wind initially, and I knew that the pitch would obviously start to become a little bit heavier, and I knew his energy and his aggression and actually his positional play would be really pivotal for us, and so it was. And I thought when Fozzie came on and Tom came on, I thought they impacted the game positively as well. So as I say, a point gained. They're a decent team. They'll pick up plenty of points, and it's another point onto the total to head us in the right direction. It's 2 unbeaten. I think in the last 9-10 games, I think that's now, I think won 5, drew 1, lost 4. So, you know, it's getting where we want to be. You know, missing a couple today with Amir and Max. Obviously, just touching on that, just want to send our well wishes to Max. You know, he's been brilliant for me since he's been here. Since I've been here, and he's a real miss. And obviously not having Amir today as well was a miss, but having Benno and Ethan back in was a real positive. And you know, the squad is, you know, very competitive, and you know, we're still obviously looking to build. But heading to a good point heading into next week against Gresley.
Yeah, I mean, we're now only a point behind Gresley from, I think they've got one game in hand. Deeping and Hucknall both lost today, so next week again, going to Gresley is an important game for us.
Yeah, that, you know, as you say, yeah, particularly in that sense, I think I said last week, in terms of that group of 7, it's important that we regularly pick up points when we play that cluster of teams, and obviously it's going to be difficult. But any game we play, as I said, the league's very competitive, but it feels like another 6-pointer. I know obviously they've got a new manager who's brought in a few as well, so you know they've got that little bit of momentum. I know that I think they're a little bit unlucky not to come away with 3 points against Sleaford, and they created quite a few chances, especially second half. So be another tough game. It'd be a good experience for our lads as well. I think there'll be a decent crowd there, and but you know, we just need to prepare in the week as we have been, and look to continue to push on, and hopefully we can come out with another positive result. And you know, as I keep saying to the lads, I always keep banging on about a 2-point average. So last 2 games, 4 points, 2 games, it's good. But you know, really pleased with this group and how they're getting on at the minute. And you know, this season is about, as I said, I keep reiterating it, it's about building. And I think in terms of, you know, where we're going and this season for the lads that we've got and potential lads that we bring in, I think it's going to really stand them in good stead for next season as well. And you know, I think it showed today, especially I looked at the back 4 and the youthfulness, especially at centre half, how far we've come so far. So really pleased with the group and how they're getting on, and long may it continue.